From CBS News that has everybody all riled up. Poll on Trump's 2025 joint address to Congress finds large majority of viewers approve. They're playing dirty games.
Yep.
I'm going to say they've been. So when I saw this poll, everybody's sharing this metric where it's like 76% approve. When I first pulled this up this morning, they actually showed a different metric as their first, and it's this one. Party identification of speech watchers, 51% Republicans, 27% independents, 20% Democrats. And I'm getting to thinking, why would you poll it this way? You're basically saying your poll is worthless. If 51% of the people who watched it are Republicans, of course, people who watched it are going to like it. They voted for the man and they're Republicans. Now, as a lot of people are sharing this around saying, aha, look, America wins. I think they threw this in here to basically create an out for Democrats to say, see, we didn't actually poll Democrats to see what they thought about the speech. And then pundits are going to be able to say, oh, we tuned out because Trump's a liar. I'm going to say this. When you take a look at how CBS did a poll almost a year ago about the State of the Union and not the speech from Joe Biden, they actually, if you look at the crosstabs, you can see they chose to actually poll a nationally representative sample of the demographics, meaning they got, where's the party ID? 655 Dems, 721 independents, and 603 Republicans. I argue, if they really wanted to, they could have polled a politically representative sample of speech watchers, not just we generally asked people and here's how it turned out. That metric is fine if they said we asked general people and got this, but if they want to do a poll on how people feel about this, wouldn't it make more sense to say, we asked a politically representative sample of people what they thought of Trump's speech, and then you'd see it's probably closer to 50-50, tracking more with Trump's approval ratings, perhaps. I think the answer is likely this. Democrats are checked out. The Democrats had a miserable performance. The signs were annoying and they got made fun of. Colbert is making fun of them. He held up a sign saying, like, try doing something. That was funny. I think YouGov probably could not find Democrats to poll. And so they were forced to do the poll this way when they found out that Democrats are tuned out or have quit entirely.
I mean, how many polls are on point in the first place? But looking at it, a lot of people that I knew that were Democrats just refused to watch Trump at all. So I don't even know if they tuned in. I don't know if that metric, is added into it as well.
It's bizarre. If they think that this guy is the second coming of Hitler, would they not be paying attention to his rhetoric and his plans for the country? Like, I came across these local protesters the other day, and I decided to go up to them and, start chatting. And I took pictures of all of their signs. I don't think these people who are protesting on the street are representative of where most Democrats are at, but they say, stop Project 2025.
No.
When has trusting the billionaires ever helped us? With fear for our democracy, I dissent. Don't tread on me. That's in Rainbow.
I can literally answer like all those questions.
Where law ends, tyranny begins. Fight the fascists.
Let's do that. Let's say what was the first one again?
The first one was Stop Project 2025, of course.
No.
Well, hold on. No. I mean, there's no Project 2025.
Our democracy is at stake, blah, blah, blah. So they all basically, and I spoke to them. I was being very polite. And I asked them how they feel about this administration. And they were all saying, like, yeah, we have a fascist dictator in office and we're going to be protesting. And I asked them, like, really, every day, like, you're going to be out here in a pedestrian thoroughfare, like protesting the fascist dictator for how long? Like until he's out of office? And they're like, yeah, I mean, if he even leaves office, I mean, it might be until 2028 for all we know. And then they'll keep going every single week.
2028
even after that. And then once, I guess, the next Republican president is in, they'll just keep coming back every week.
I know everybody's really has a very good feeling about the way that Trump's speech went. It was a good speech. I'm not taking anything away from it. But I want to draw attention to Elise Slotnick, her response, not because it's not because the substance of it was something that I personally find compelling, but the substance of it was it was a demonstration of the civil war going on in the Democrat Party. It sounded like she was a late 80s, early 90s Republican. She praised Ronald Reagan. She was talking about economic issues. She didn't touch any of the culture war issues at all. And the reason is because the Democrats that are the donors know that those are losers. Americans do not want men and women in the same bathrooms. For the most part, Americans still look at Hamas as a terrorist group, and they look at Gaza and they see Hamas. Whether or not that's right or wrong, I'm not trying to make an argument. I'm telling you the way that most Americans kind of perceive the situation. And you can see that in polls. Most Americans want to still support Israel. The culture war issues that the Democrats have attached themselves to are terribly, terribly unpopular. The American people want the border closed. Trump has taken up all the 80-20 issues where 80% of Americans agree and 20% don't. And basically, you can find 20% of the people that will disagree with Republicans for literally anything. And I think that it's emblematic in the fact that they're talking about they're in agreement that it's okay for children to cut off their genitals.
Yeah, I think his TDS is Trump derangement syndrome, and to go back to the protests, I've been covering protests ever since Trump got in. And I've been talking to these people, and it's fascinating what they're saying because I was just in San Diego. Somebody told me they think Elon Musk is actually the president. They were fully convinced that he was the president.
A shadow president.
Yeah, exactly.
Which is absurd. I mean, that's really detached from reality. He is just as much a shadow president as any other advisor to any other president. He's doing Doge is actually entirely mundane. It is an audit department. That's it. They give recommendations to the administration. If anyone's getting fired, any changes that are made, it is not because Elon Musk has the power to do it himself. He's making these recommendations to President Trump. President Trump is making those.
But I don't even think it goes that. Honestly, I don't even think it goes that hard. And I think it's probably way more mundane than even you're describing. In that, there's a batch of government employees. They work for the United States Digital Service, which they jokingly renamed Doge Service. These young men are going in and doing audits as government employees, and then someone probably, like Elon probably says, let Trump's assistant, let a staffer know what we're looking at. Trump probably passively looks at a piece of paper and goes, "Huh, look at that. Yeah, sure, we should end these programs." So my point is, I doubt Elon is meeting with the president every day and sitting there and then going over big lists. Trump is way too busy for that. So the separation between Trump and Elon is probably substantial relative to what these people imagine. I mean, first of all, saying that Elon is the president is laughable. Elon's probably doing a lot less than people realize. And I don't mean to demean or disparage the work that he's doing. I'm saying the Democrats think he's literally got Trump on puppet strings when he's running 3, 4, 5. How many companies is the man running? I don't think he's in the White House 24/7 running the show.
Yeah, well, and the reasoning that I heard from this protester was that he said that this conspiracy was that Elon Musk stole the election using satellites.
Yes.
Oh.
And so Trump owes him everything for that. And that was his reasoning. Fascinating.
He's more of a hype man with a cabinet job. And if anything, Trump's speech was overselling the impact of Doge just to make it sound cool. But
right.
If that's what you're doing to get the deficit under control, it's obviously not going to even make a dent.
Well,
Cutting things by millions, even if you're cutting things by billions, you're not even making a dent.
Yeah.
Yup, that is a big challenge. I mean, the other problem too is that the story from the Supreme Court, which we'll get into in a second, where I don't want to jump the gun on the rest of these stories, but the Supreme Court forcing Trump to pay $2 billion, and it's a weird story because they're not forcing Trump to do anything. Basically, a lower court, district court, said we are pausing Trump's order to halt payments temporarily, which means the final payments will be issued. So it's not a temporary halt. So Trump files an appeal. The appellate court says we have no jurisdiction over this because the executive branch has sovereign immunity on how they issue payments. The court, we can't be involved. The lower court, so the argument is they wrongly issued this order. So then it goes to the Supreme Court, and they put a temporary stay on the lower court's order, and then today vacated their stay. So they actually didn't rule anything. They just outright said, we're not getting involved, which means Trump is bound by a lower court to give $2 billion of your money away. This is absolutely insane. Now, again, I don't want to jump the gun on the story. I want to talk a bit about what Trump was pitching. But to go back to the State of the Union, or whatever you want to call it, Democrats didn't They didn't clap for anything. When I thought they at least clap for balancing the budget, right? Give some air of actually caring about the American people. Nope. And then when it came to this 13-year-old boy who survived brain cancer, who was being made an honorary Secret Service agent, heartwarming moment. Thanks for checking out this clip from Timcast IRL. Make sure to watch the show live Monday through Friday at 8 p.m. Subscribe to this channel, and we will see you all there.